Welcome to the explainer. We've all grown up with fire alarms, right? That loud noise that means trouble has already started. But today, we're talking about a completely different idea. What if you could get a warning before there's even a spark? This is all about flipping the script on how we deal with fire. So hello everyone! We're going to dive deep into a standout K-Tech company from the K-INNOSHOW 2025 showcase. And trust me, these guys are making waves by tackling a problem that most of us thought was, well, already solved.
Think about it for a second. Our entire approach to fire safety is based on reaction. The alarm screams, we run. But this company is asking a radical question. What if that's the wrong way to think about it? What if the goal wasn't just to react faster, but to make sure there's nothing to react to in the first place?
To really appreciate how big a deal this is, we first have to look at the way things have been done for, well, forever. For more than a century, our whole fire safety playbook has been built on one single word, reaction. You know the drill. A conventional system, usually wired into the walls, tells you there's smoke or heat somewhere. But that's the problem, isn't it? It's not precise. It can't tell you why it's happening. It only tells you that the clock on damage and danger has already started ticking.
And this really gets to the heart of it. On the one hand, you've got the old goal, minimize the damage once a fire is already burning. But on the other hand, you have this new revolutionary idea, a system built to minimize the chance of a fire even happening. It's a total shift from reacting to a disaster to preventing it from ever being born.
Okay, so how do you actually do that? How do you make that incredible leap from just reacting to something to actually predicting it? Well, this is where a South Korean company is really stepping up and creating a whole new category of safety tech.
So let me introduce you to RozeAI and their incredible system, Fire Forecast. See, it's right there in the name. It's not a fire alarm, it's a fire forecast. It's designed to finally answer that question we started with. How do you stop a fire before it even has a chance to begin?
And I just love this quote from the company because it really captures the sheer scale of what they're doing. They say, "We are now opening the era of fire forecasting, moving from prevention to prediction." This isn't just a slightly better mousetrap, it's a whole new ballgame. So, what's under the hood? How does it actually work? Well, it's a powerful mix of three key technologies. You've got IoT, which is basically a whole network of smart sensors grabbing tons of data. Then you have the brains of the operation, artificial intelligence, which sifts through all that data looking for patterns. And then you have the real secret sauce, something called a digital twin.
All right, let's get into the nuts and bolts of this. I know, forecasting a fire, it sounds a bit like science fiction, doesn't it? But the process behind it is surprisingly straightforward and all about the data.
It really all boils down to a four-step process. First, they install smart sensors to measure all the things that could lead to a fire. Second, the AI takes all that data and crunches it into a single, simple number, a fire risk index. Third, that index is watched, constantly, in real time. And fourth, the magic step. If that risk level starts to creep up, a warning goes out before anything bad can happen.
What's really wild is the kind of information it's collecting. It's not just the obvious stuff like heat and smoke. It's looking at the building's electrical system for weird voltage spikes. It's using cameras to understand the situation. All these different streams of data get fed into that central AI brain, giving it a complete health checkup of the entire building, minute by minute.
And this is where it gets really futuristic. Remember that digital twin I mentioned? The system builds a perfect 3D virtual copy of the actual building. It's a living model, constantly updated with all that live sensor data. This lets the AI not just see what's happening now, but run simulations to predict what could happen next, pinpointing dangerous spots with unbelievable accuracy.
So the tech is absolutely mind-blowing, but what does it mean in the real world? What's the actual impact? Well, RozeAI ran the numbers, and the results are pretty staggering. Let's take a look.
First up, the number of fires. By catching those risky conditions early, the faulty wiring, the overheating, the system is expected to cut the number of fires that happen by 43%. Think about that. Nearly half of all incidents just erased.
Okay, but what about the human cost? This is where it gets even more powerful. Because the system gives you a super early, super precise heads up, people can get out sooner and safer. The projected result? A 72% drop in casualties.
That is the life-saving difference between reaction and prediction. And for those rare times a fire might still start, well, first responders aren't going in blind anymore. They know exactly where the trouble is. That gives them a huge advantage, leading to a projected 68% jump in the success rate of putting the fire out right away, in that crucial golden time.
And you know, this tech isn't just for fancy, modern office buildings. Its real strength is its versatility. I mean, it's being used in places like crowded, complex, traditional markets. And at the same time, it's being trusted to protect absolutely critical infrastructure, like massive power plants.
Honestly, the list of applications just goes on and on. We're talking nursing hospitals, where you have to protect the most vulnerable people. We're talking military bases, huge logistics warehouses, even super-sensitive semiconductor factories where one tiny spark could mean millions in damage. This is the kind of foundational tech that will build our future smart cities.
So, with a technology this versatile and this powerful, it's really no surprise that RozeAI is thinking big. We're talking global stage big. You see all these logos? This isn't just a corporate wall of fame. This is their passport to the world. They've already locked down major certifications, like the FCC for the US and the CE mark for Europe. It's proof that their tech meets the absolute highest global standards. They're ready to go.
And they are not messing around. They have a very clear, very ambitious financial strategy to back up those goals. You can see their journey here, starting preparations for a NASDAQ listing back in 2023, and they're aiming for an IPO in September 2025. This is a serious company making serious moves.
You know, this kind of global ambition doesn't just happen in a vacuum. The Ministry of SMEs and Startups in South Korea supports the growth of the country's K-tech companies. That backing is absolutely crucial, empowering innovators like RozeAI to take their incredible, world-changing ideas and share them with all of us. So I'll leave you with this final thought. We've just seen how AI can learn to forecast a fire. It really makes you wonder, as this technology gets smarter and more powerful, what's next? What other things that we think of as disasters could we learn to see coming and maybe prevent entirely? What will we be forecasting tomorrow?